Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. You know, it's really stunning to see how teed up the crypto market is, and specifically XRP as well. So if the charts, volatility, macro backdrop, and real-world integration we're seeing right now aren't enough to get your attention, maybe this will. Because I'm here to tell you why, if you're watching this, you probably don't own enough XRP. You're going to look back on this and wish that you had purchased more, especially at these lower prices while XRP is slightly below $3. Because the price action, the price action that we're seeing right now, it's just a lot of chopping, a lot of sideways price action. It's not going to stay here much longer, and I'm going to give you a ton of reasons why you should believe that. But before going further, I do want to be clear, I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice. And you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. As I record this video, it's 5:29 p.m. Central Time, which is my time zone, here in the good old Midwest of the United States. So it's Tuesday, September 23rd, 2025. XRP is $2.84. So yes, indeed, another day of chop solidation. You got Bitcoin at 112,134 bucks. 24-hour low of for XRP at $2.81. That notable dip right there, if you're looking at the screen, you can see it. It happened at the same time for Bitcoin. So this entire market very clearly is moving in tandem. The fundamentals for XRP have never been stronger. It's not like price goes down and that somehow reflects that there's less confidence in XRP specifically. It's just regular fluctuations in crypto. But you know what sets off some crazy price action historically? The Russell 2000. Take a look at this. Russell 2000, of course, is an index that tracks small cap stocks. And here you can see this morning, the blockchain backer wrote, Russell 2000 sets another new all-time high. Crypto hasn't seemed to get the message yet. And isn't that something? And just to be clear, it was an intraday high. The market ended up tanking a little bit later in the day. Nothing insane, but the market went down and Russell 2000 did. But still, we saw another new all-time high after this past Thursday seeing not just an intraday all-time high for the Russell 2000, but it closed at a new all-time high for the first time in almost 4 years. Let me explain to you again why this is a big freaking deal and why we need to keep watching this, because it's at a key level where if it goes, history tells us that your altcoins are going to also burst almost immediately after that. And that's why I said at the outset of the video, we're going to look back and be like, yeah, I wish I had bought more XRP. That I'm willing to bet that's what's going to happen for so many people listening right now. So here's this post from Dom, and he's talking about that very topic. And so you can see the 2017 bull run on the left, and then the chart on the right is the 2021 bull run. And he says, Russell 2000 has broken into another all-time high today, attempting price discovery. The last 3 times this happened, Total 2 soon followed after. And of course, Total 2 is the name of the chart that tracks the top 125 coins by market cap, excluding Bitcoin. So he says, the last 3 times this happened, when Russell 2000 started getting cindy, altcoins followed. And he says risk on in small cap stocks has usually meant risk on in crypto alts. Is this time different? Well, no, folks, this time is not different. And you can see this colored line that's green and purple. That's the Russell 2000. You can see 2 market cycles ago what happened. It broke to the upside, and then Total 2 followed. In 2021, same story. Russell 2000 breaks an all-time high. Total 2 shortly after that just starts bursting. That's why this matters. If there's an increased appetite for risk-on assets in the stock market, you know that's absolutely going to follow in the crypto asset class as well, because it's the same investor that has an increased appetite for risk. Tons of these people are investing in both traditional finance and crypto. So it's not hard to understand why, but that's what's being flirted with today. Higher, my friends. Here's a post from chart analyst Tony Severino. He says Bitcoin weekly Bollinger Bands are officially the tightest in the entire history of Bitcoin price action. That's right, the tightest in history. Do you remember last year, for most of the year, I kept highlighting that XRP Bollinger Bands were at the tightest in history also, and we know that means, that's what precedes a massive move. The tighter the Bollinger Bands get, the greater their indication is going to be a massive move. And given that we were in a bull market last year, I kept insisting, when this thing breaks, it's going to be to the upside. because that obviously was the most probable move. Well, same thing here for Bitcoin now, which leads the crypto market. Tightest in history. It's just another thing, folks. Nothing to see here, though, right? Here's another post from Tony Severino. He says, gold reaches its measured move target and is highly overheated on the monthly RSI. What happens next? And so you can see RSI at the bottom here. It's on a scale of 0 to 100, and it's just shy of 90 at the time he posted this. Look at that. That is deeply into overbought territory. This thing's going to top sooner than later. Even if it does climb a bit higher and something it's going to a little bit, it's pretty much at the end, in all likelihood. Now, that is another thing that matters. Macro confluence matters. Why? Well, here's another analyst pointing out exactly why. Look at this chart. The yellow line, that's gold. And the orange line is Bitcoin. And this is from a post from Alex Wasey, a popular analyst with 190,000 followers on X. He says, gold always runs first. After that, Bitcoin starts massively outperforming it. History doesn't lie. And you can see what he's talking about. Look at these, look where we are right now. And look at how it was the same thing last cycle and the cycle before that. And you can see that as gold finally reached its peak, that was a marker that Bitcoin was about to go crazy. Is this time different? Famous last words, my friends. I don't think so. And so many chart analysts that I follow are noting this, like it's about to go. What do you think's going to happen with your altcoins after this? Altcoin Gordon, he's sharing the same thing. Popular analyst, 812,000 followers on X. He got gold on the left, last market cycle. And then you've got Bitcoin. I'm sorry, I did not mean to say last cycle. You've got gold on the left and Bitcoin on the right, and the chart's just going back. For gold, it's going back over a decade. And for Bitcoin, it's going back several years into the last market cycle. And Gordon here wrote, gold rally is a blessing for Bitcoin, not a curse. Every time gold has rallied higher, Bitcoin has gone parabolic. Watch it happen again in Q4 once gold peaks. So folks, do you see why I'm sharing this with you? The market is so perfectly teed up. You're going to wish you had more XRP when this thing really goes. And by the way, the second rally for XRP, because, XRP historically has two major rallies. There's one, then you wait at least half a year, and then you get another one. And it could be a little bit stretched out, this one. Doesn't saying that couldn't happen. But the second rally historically is way bigger than the first one in terms of United States dollars. Way, 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 way bigger, which is why these price predictions for double-digit price action for XRP, not crazy. Then there was this from Jeff Park. Jeff Park is the CEO at ProCap Bitcoin. He's an advisor over at Bitwise also. And this is one sharp dude here. Very data-driven guy. And here's what he wrote. The last time Bitcoin's 90 of realized vol was this low was end of 2016. Everyone remembers 2017. So to break this down, right now, Bitcoin's 90-day historical volatility is sitting around 25, as you can see right down here. I'm moving my mouse. It's one of the lowest levels we've seen in years, frankly. So that's a measure of how much Bitcoin's price has been moving day to day. And when it gets this low, it usually means the market is entering a period of tight consolidation. The last time volatility was this low was in late 2016, and what followed was the massive 2017 bull run. So to be clear, low volatility doesn't mean prices are going to stay flat. No. It means they've already been flat, and the market is building energy. It's like a spring being compressed. These quiet periods often come before explosive moves, not after. So while everybody, or rather nobody, I said exactly backwards, while nobody can predict the exact timing, history does show us that extreme calm in Bitcoin has often been a setup for major price action. Are you seeing all of the confluence here? This is so obvious. The Nijin Tropic account obviously agrees with this sentiment. This is the account run by the co-founders of Glassnode and Swissblock, on-chain analytics firms. And they wrote, we are currently as oversold as April 7th, the global bottom in 2025. Short euphoria is becoming greedy. And the boy that cried wolf on the U.S. regulation is being ignored. Maybe he is the catalyst that sends everything higher. Yeah, I would think so. It's so obvious. You're not going to sit here consolidating forever. Something's going to happen. And the market cycle, it's just not over, folks. Raoul Pal certainly gets it. Raoul Pal is a former Goldman Sachs executive. He's the founder and CEO of Real Vision, as well as global macro investor. Got over 1.2 million followers on X for a reason. And he said, same thing happens all the time. The crypto market is focused on a big breakout, gets levered long ahead of it. It fails at first attempt, so everyone gets liquidated. Only then does the actual breakout occur, leaving everyone sidelined. Yeah, and I reported in a video yesterday, this is the biggest liquidation all year. I think it was something like $1.62 billion or something stupid like that. This is normal. Like, this is what happens. It tricks people, and then the market recovers, and we do get the real breakout. Here's a post from chart analyst Tech Dev, and he shared this with his 548,000 followers. Altcoins, slower but bigger. They didn't believe it then, they don't believe it now. And this is the crypto total market cap excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum. So that's the total 3 chart. So XRP is in the chart that's on your screen right here. And he's comparing what's happening now to last cycle. He started kind of trending up at 2020, going into 2021. And look how it went into blast-off mode going into 2021. He's arguing that that's the same thing happening now. It's just slower. And he is one of the analysts that's been argued that this market cycle is going to be a little bit longer than what we've seen up to this point. And he's articulated reasons why he thinks that this could stretch into maybe even the second quarter of 2026. It's a minority opinion, but he could be right. And he's got data to back his perspective. So we'll see. But it's still coming. Here's a post from the great Matsby. It says, very bullish back test for XRP. Highlighting, of course, that this is just normal. There's nothing to be freaked out about here. And here's a post from Chart Nerd. He's showing a chart structure for XRP on your screen, ascending triangle, and he's noting that this is indicating, in his estimation, that XRP is going to go to $15, then ultimately peak at $27. Nothing has changed, just because we've been moving sideways. $27 XRP, I don't know if it's going to get hit, but it ain't crazy. Here's a post from Credible Crypto. This is an XRP BTC chart, and he says, we swept our lows again on XRP BTC, so while we didn't hold the range lows, a third sweep is just another bullish variation. Still looks like one of the healthiest higher time frame charts in the space right now. Those range highs are calling. And as you can see, he's talking about XRP's high against Bitcoin in July. That's also, of course, when XRP hit its all-time high in terms of being denominated in USD. So all-time high for the dollar as well. We're not going to stay down here. And I will not be surprised, if you zoom out on a chart, I will not be surprised to see XRP revisiting all-time high territory against Bitcoin, which would be, by the way, for the first time in about 8 years. So yes, XRP hit a new all-time high against the dollar multiple times this year. It hasn't against Bitcoin since like 28, I guess it was the beginning of 2013. Oh, no. Actually, it was the first half of 2017. That was the last time XRP hit a new all-time high against Bitcoin. I'd say we're past due. And you can imagine once that happens what that's going to mean for the USD price of XRP as well. I mean, it's just going to go way higher. Here's a post from Crypto Insight UK, XRP BTC on your screen. And he says, XRP BTC 4-hour held all closes above the trend line we've been observing for a while. This is how we look on the 3-day. So that would be this chart right here. He's just noting everything's still looking good. Like, for all the freaking out that's going on by some XRP holders and some people in crypto in general, it just doesn't make any logical sense to be feeling negative about this. Here's a post from chart analyst Malleus. And this is an XRP NVDA chart. So NVDA, of course, that's the ticker symbol for Nvidia. And it's primed, folks. It's XRP denominated in Nvidia. He says, oh boy, you want to own some XRP. And you can see going back to 2017, my God, when it ran, it ran, you moved sideways, and then you got that second leg up. He's just noting it's the same thing here. We've already had our first leg up. We've moved sideways. It's about to go. And then if you look at the RSI on the bottom, you can see like we're nowhere near oversold territory. And we could see what it looked like in 2017. You rocketed upward, then it went back down, interest got lost, but then price came back up, RSI through the roof. So we're still waiting for that final big RSI movement, the final one for the market cycle. It's coming. It's not over yet, folks. Which is why maybe you don't have enough XRP. Maybe you don't. Here's a post from chart analyst Greg Crypto, XRP USD on your screen here. He says, if you're not yet familiar with the most likely outcomes, it might be time to catch up. Here's a closer look at 2 pivotal cycles in XRP's history. 21 EMA historical support levels, the 2017 cycle here. XRP displayed remarkable strength by touching the 21 EMA as a key support level not just once, but twice. This critical action set the stage for an astonishing rally that propelled prices upward by a staggering 1,610%. And then in 2021, it says in stark contrast, we faced major challenges when we initially broke below the 21 EMA, largely triggered by the SEC lawsuit, an unprecedented black swan event that sent shockwaves through the XRP community. However, after closing above the 21 EMA, we executed a successful retest, which ultimately propelled us to an impressive 414% gain. And yes, that is impressive, especially considering XRP was under attack at the time by the SEC. It says right now, based on historical evidence, our historical XRP price BF rather, with the 321 EMA and the last leg, we saw incredible pumps of 1,610% and 414%. If we can look at the recent retest of the 21 EMA on June 9, 2025 as a starting point for a potential measured move, and we project these historical increases, 1,610% and 414%, we could see targets of $9.60 and $33. Take it or leave it. The choice is yours to make. As for me, I'm still holding strong. And as am I. So that was from E. Greg Crypto. Yes, I'm absolutely holding. I've never sold a single XRP in my life, but I intend to, but only for a high price. It needs to be worth way more than it is right now. Or no, my XRP is just not for sale. You can't have it. You cannot have it. You can have it when we it's worth way, way, way more than it is now. So yeah, the best is yet ahead, and look, this is effectively the last chance. If history is to rhyme with itself, as you know, I believe it will anyway, this is the last chance to buy anything at these prices, including XRP, before the cycle peak anyway. If you're not bullish now, you're doing it wrong. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.